All right. Good morning, everyone. This week is another test week, so make sure you understand that it's a test grade. But basically, starting in the late 90s, bands were commissioning artists in graphic design to make a very eye-popping, catchy cover art. A lot of the times, what happens is you look at the band, you're like, who the heck are those guys? So sometimes the band cover art, if it's an album cover, the artwork sells it. I mean, look at Kanye's. Boom. Has nothing to do with Kanye, but it's like, oh, that looks cute. You know. So there's a lot of different art covers and things like that. Harry Styles, of course. So this week it's all about creating your own Nirvana. One that I still remember just because I was like, ooh, that's crazy. You know. So there's a lot of different interpretations and different ideas. The other thing too that I really wanted to stress is, well, it's hard to pick and choose your favorite artist. So the other thing too with this project is it could be a fictional band. So I'll show you how to do a real band. So let me close that. Let me minimize that. Let me go into Photoshop first. This week, because remember, the CD cover is square. So this is where the 15 by 15 72 resolutions really helps you. Okay. I've already been toying with some ideas. So new file, 15 by 15. Make sure it's 15 by 15, 72 resolutions, RGB color 8-bit in Photoshop. If you're going to do text on it, I recommend doing this in Photoshop first, then putting it in Illustrator for the text. So I'm going to create. Okay, I'm going to unlock that. Then I'm going to go and open. I already did a Blink 182 one. I want to do Green Day. Two bands that, everyone knows. So I'm going to press Control A, Control C, Control V. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is get rid of the background. Don't need it. But Green Day for me has always consisted of the three guys in the color green, maybe some other colors, okay? So I'm going to make a copy of that. So I have two. Okay, the top one, we have done solid color and stuff, but what if you do gradient? A gradient map on that layer. Let's see what happens. Ooh, so now it makes all the shadows black. So your shadows are over here. Okay, so I could actually make that black. Then I can make the highlights green. Okay, so right there is an excellent way of doing it. Okay, so right there I got my green. Now let's say you want to work in some other colors. I'm going to tone that down. Say I want another, because it's really close to the black, I'm going to add another color here. And I'm going to make this one maybe a yellow. Ooh, that's very bright. So then what I could do is when I click on this one, I could adjust the sliders. Oops. Let me delete that one. So I got this one. Got to make sure I tap it exactly. Maybe I want the blacks a little bit more. Then here, I only want. Remember, you guys are on wired mouses, so you don't have to deal with half the crap I do. These. So I just want that there. Or I might go here. There we go. Give this one. Let me turn that one into black as well. Okay. So it all depends on where you really want to slide it to. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, is more of that black pop. The yellow is just that highlight, so I might actually give it more of a highlight. There we go. That's looking better. That's looking very, very crisp. So I'm going to press OK. Now when I go back to layers, if you notice, that's on this one, okay? So if I turn that off, they're fine, okay? So they're fine. I could even mask it. Remember, black takes it away, white adds it. So if I don't want it on his face, I could be like, yee, it already has a mask on it, okay? So that's one. And remember too, don't try to control it. Like, have fun with it. I'm gonna do his hair all crazy. There we go. A little bit on Billy. The big thing about this one is kind of having fun with it as you do it. And if you're stumped, remember it does not have to be a real band. Because I was getting stumped because one of my favorite bands of all times is Garbage. But I mean, if you see the band Garbage, you see why their album covers do not feature the band. There are a lot of dudes that look like your dad. So there we go. So then I could also notice I can't apply it. So what I'm going to do is press Control E. See? So that's all in one layer now. So I got my color gradients. Now remember too, we have used a lot of tools. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to Filter, Filter Gallery. Okay. So I could go to Poster's Edge. I could go to my cutouts. It's whatever you want to do. I'm going to start off with Poster's Edge. Kind of going to make that a little thick. Intensity, I'm going to bring that down to 2. Posterizing, I'm going to bring that up. Okay, it's up to you though. I might actually bring that down. Now that I look at it, it's looking good. Then I go back into the filter gallery. I'm going to do a cutout on that. Number of levels, edge simplicity, edge fidelity. This looks good. See? So already they're kind of having a look that looks like it's popping. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go File, Open, and depending on which filter you want, grunge, paper texture, do a grunge texture. Okay, this is my halftone grunge. I'm going to press Control A, Control C, bring it over to them, Control V. This is an interesting, if you look close, it's those halftones. So what I want to do is kind of, I could actually put a gradient on this, gradient map it, and for some reason it keeps doing yellow right off. So let me do, I might do a blue. No, let's be honest. I'm going to do green, but I'm going to make the highlights popping. Then I'm going to make the low lights not as low as the black. I kind of want it gray. Okay. So then I go back to layer. Got that. Got that. And let me unlock them. Control E. I got that. Now what I want to do is I want to play with my blend mode. Okay. So right there, that's looking pretty sharp. I actually really like that one. Ooh. My biggest thing is if Green Day was my client, I would do like 3 or 4 different ones depending on what the band wants. I actually personally have used overlay a lot before. This one is hot fire. Overlay. Boom. Then what I'm going to do is this is texture grunge, which is nice. I got Green Day looking spiffy. Um Honestly, I like the look of it. It's looking really smart. So keep that in mind. So, ooh, I just realized I put it on the wrong layer. Hee hee. Control A, Control C. Hee hee. Control V. There we go. Okay. Notice the effects didn't transfer over. Overlay, looking sharp. There we go. That's more of what I was looking for. I definitely like the overlay still. Okay. So if I press Control E, notice the effects look normal now, okay? So my big thing is, remember how I made 2 copies to begin with? So on this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. So basically think of this as an effect and just watch me change my fill. Right about there makes it look nice. Okay, keep that in mind. Now if I go up to filter, I go down to stylize oil painting. Okay. See now with those half tones mixed into there, it gives it that really kind of art deco style like on a canvas. Okay. And remember too, now I can take the fill, just kind of tone it down a little. I'd say my fill's like at 68, okay? So now what I'm going to do is press Control E. This one still is hot, but it's also the original photo, you know? I thought it looked like, I was like, wow, didn't know I put all the effects on there yet. That looks good. So keep that in mind. But I would also always have other options for the band. Notice how it's starting to look kind of chromatic for the print sakes. This could print easily right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is go open. And remember, this week it's all about texture. So this is called grunge texture black and white. This would be like if I wanted it to look like it's on a wall. Okay. I don't want that. So I'm going to turn that off. Go File, Open, Paper Texture. This is what I want because this is going to give me the look like it looks like the band's poster was up on the wall and then they slapped it on the album cover. Control C, Control A, Control C. I'm going to press Control V. Control T, because look how big it is. Then I'm going to right click and distort. I just want to pull in the corners of it and just fit it to the frame. Okay, right there is what I want. So I'm going to press enter. Once again, I'm going to go for my blend modes. Okay. And if you could get it in a blend mode, like right about there, screening looks good. I like how you can see it across the guys. Ooh, linear color's good. Let me see screen again. I'm going to keep it with screen. And if you really want to up it, like on the screen, you can press Alt and change this up a little. And so just by doing this, see the line, how it's forming there? Press Alt. Gives it that texture, okay? Press Alt. See how it's giving me that texture? So I want it right about there. Alt. Right about there. I can press OK. Because if you notice, there's that line across, which is what I kind of want it. So right there, this is good. Now how do I put text in there? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to layer flatten image. Save as PNG. Green. Demo. Okay. So I'm no longer beating around the bush about this. I'm going to tell you straight up. Any text should be done in Illustrator just because of the cleanliness. Okay. I was playing with something else. So I'm going to open Green Day demo. Boom. Okay, so right here, remember, my goal is not to fully render it. If you want to, you can. You can image trace it. But that's not my goal. My goal is to actually do something with the text. So right here, I'm going to put in Green Day. Now, depending on how you want to put the text in there, okay, it's up to you. Okay, my thing is, when I do this, okay, what I'm going to do is go through my different fonts. I'm going to find one that kind of looks a little rough. All the computers are different. Mine is different than what you have. So I'm going to keep it simple. But like, you know, depending on the band, Green Day, I would definitely do a lot of grunge on it, which I would do it letter by letter personally. But for sake of the demo, go through them, see which one you like. Kind of like that one. Okay, so I got this one, right? Now, with this, I'm a firm believer of saturating it here, and then here. Kind of looks like the drummer is squeezing in like, hey guys, don't forget I'm here. So let me here. Dang it, this is RGB. Okay, so I got that. Leave that there. Okay. Control C, Control V. Okay. I'm just having fun with text. You could do it any way you want. It could be the band's name, it could be the tour dates. It's up to you what kind of info you want to put in there. I'd love to know why I did that. There we go. Okay, so I got some text layers. I'm going to click that one, Shift, click that one, Shift, click that one, click that one, right? So I'm going to press Transform. And there's a few things I could do. I could do Scale, I could do Shear, Transform each. See? Play with that a little. I'm just playing around with it now just to give it some interesting sparks. Nah, I just want to keep the outer ones. But it's up to you what you want to do with it. Like this one, I'm like, move that one down a little. I was going to do a big reflect one, but I was like, this is okay. Remember, this is for a real band. So when you get to this point, stop and say, hey, I've done this. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export as Green Day demo 1. Okay. So from there, transparent, or you could do black. Black would actually look kind of cool. There we go. So that's done. So remember too, it does not have to be a real band. Okay, so keep that in mind. So what I'm going to do is go to Photoshop, and trust me, my ambition was huge this week. So what I'm going to do is go to Open Recent, Clear Recent Files, go New File, 15 by 15, Create. It could be an imaginary band. Okay, it could also be a band that is not a band at all. It could be a tennis team. Go and get to them soon. Okay, so orc lower. All right, so Control A, Control C, Control V, Control T, make it a little bigger. Because remember, you want it to fill the 15 by 15. Okay, so right about here is where I want them for the band, because they're an orc band. It actually works well to kind of give your area a place for the title. Okay, so on this one, before I delete that, I'm going to go solid color, and I'm going to select this color. Okay, this one, just going to get rid of that top part because I did have a little border to it. And then we'll move them down. See, it's all within the 15 by 15. Control E. All right. So then from here, just copy it. And remember too, I just do that just for fun. But let's say the band was a real band. Well, sometimes you don't have to put a gradient layer on it or a gradient map. Maybe you want to change the threshold. Okay, maybe you want to just, change it like so. Get rid of some of those details. Okay, layer, that's one idea. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to Control E. So that's one idea. The other one, let me make another copy. So remember, we have not done this, so invert. Maybe you just want to straight up invert. Control Z. That's not what I want to do. Layers on. You could do gradient map again. I just showed you how to do that. I'm like, I don't want to do it again. But basically, this is a drawing I did from the orcs from Bright, if they actually did an actual band cover. Then from there, what I'm going to do is go here. I'm going to go up to filter, going to go to stylize, going to go to oil paint. Smooth it out. Okay. So I've got that smoothed out. Control E. And now from here, I'm actually going to put a little bit of a blend on it. So maybe I want it here. Maybe I want it there. Actually, I kind of like that. So I could do a few different things, but it's up to you how you blend it. Kind of like that. Okay, Control E. Now remember too, this week you're also going to be using the ability to bring in some textures. So kind of like the paper texture. There is a link in the materials for the different textures, okay? So maybe I'll do Control A, Control C. All right, Control V, Control D, sort, pull up the sides. Okay, Enter, drop that below them. Control D, make them a little bit smaller. There we go. Enter. So I got to get rid of the black borders. Ooh, don't just select it. Press Alt. Got his pants. Delete. Along the side. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's going to press Alt. There we go. Okay, so now comes the fun part. Shoot. Didn't press delete. There we go. Now comes the fun part of masking it onto the wall to make it look like it's part of the wall. Okay, I could do a brick pattern to it and a few other things. Uh, Press Alt on the shifters. See, if you go too much, press Alt, shift it. There we go. Alt, shift it, Alt. There we go. Okay, so I have those effects on, so it's going to be kind of fun. I'm just going to call the band. Okay. Control E. I just thought work keeps it safe. See, if I press Control E, it blends it right in. So keep that in mind. E, get a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, so now with this one, I'm going to press Enter. So this one, I want to do my own blend on it, because otherwise, if I put it on the other one, all those effects are just going to be there. Ooh, I like that one. That's like orc. You know, and that's one right there, very easy. Okay, so right there, it doesn't need to be clean because I wanted it to be dirty. Let's flatten, file save as on your computer. Work. And okay, then I could go back to the original one and do one even cleaner. So let me do another one. New file 15 by 15. Okay. So let me go to open. So let me do tennis. For some reason, this just looks like a band playing tennis. So Control C, Control V, D. There we go. Enter. Now the only thing that sucks is I really should have selected subject, but it's okay. So this one I'm going to go select subject. You're going to see why this is going to be interesting. Oh snaps, it actually got the bulk of it. Good. Wow. So then from there I just got to do some fine detailing. Press shift, add that to the selection. Wowzers. Just get Tanner's finger, shift, shoulder, alt, get rid of that. Alt. I like the polygonal tool. There we go. Okay, so then I'm going to mask them. From there, I know my video is already long, but let me just get this little area. There we go. Okay. So many things I could do with this, right? So I'm going to apply the layer mask. This one I could actually do as a solid color or a gradient itself. I could do a gradient on it. Just not feeling it so much, but let me get this one black. Okay, so I got them here. Now that, Control E, this one, go down here to gradient map. And if you notice, it put it on everything. So that's why I wasn't too worried about it all. But let me see. I might actually put it on everything. No. Hee hee. Ah. Okay. Try that again. Okay. So let me adjust this. Top color. There we go. There we go. So I got that going on. Got the band. Okay. Go to layers. So I'm going to press Control E. You notice something shifted. See? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to merge visible. Notice it's still on 1. So then from there, what I'm going to do is go to my halftones, because I love my halftones. And before I even go over there, I could do, once again, I could put a little gradient map on it. Might actually do a light blue. Then I might actually just make this one a gray. The gray is a good one. You don't want it exact. So then I'm going to press Control A, Control C, V. That's the problem. Control E, Control C, V. Yep, I did just drop that whole mask layer. So remember too, with this one, see how I have the halftones there? If I start going for the blend, ooh. Hmm. Let me mask that real quick. There we go. Back on my mask. Just doing some detailing. So you don't want to lose the identities of your band members. Apply, Control E. This one too, remember, I didn't really play with any of the gallery filters because I really didn't want to. I could, but I'm like, I just add that. Just a little. E, another one. And I'm going to go into the Fits Gallery. And this one I'm going to do my cutout. Okay. Notice I did that after I put the mask on. The reason why is this way I could just work back in some of their features. I get on the black, and we'll go from there. There we go. You'll see the finished product once it's actually in uh, the demo. So keep that in mind. That I'm going to give it a break and let the video play.